Hello everyone, today we have a story. I grew up in a pretty tight-knit family. I have a brother and sister and was very close to my parents, spending every holiday there, most weekends during college. We grew up on the suburbs of Minneapolis and all went to the University of Minnesota. A year ago, if you would have told me where I would be at today, I would have laughed at your pessimism. But here we are. I met Stacy during my sophomore year of college and we dated until I proposed last December. She said yes, and we were planning on getting married next summer and spending our lives in Minnesota. But in April my life fell apart. I came home early to find my brother in bed with my fiancé. I freaked out and left and kicked her out of our shared apartment. Days later she came back and said she had fallen in love with my brother over the years and that she was sorry but was where her heart was. She moved out and I blocked her and my brother. Initially, the rest of my family took my side and banned my brother from family events. I slowly began to heal. I had a work opportunity come up. My boss pulled me in and said that he had suggested I lead the office in Chicago. They are kind of mess and the company wanted someone from headquarters to take over. I couldn't believe it, but I said yes. I never thought I'd leave Minnesota but thought it was time for a change. This all happened in early November and the plan was to move after Christmas. My plan was to tell the family at Thanksgiving and then spend Christmas one last time before moving. But of course, my ex and brother had to stick the knife in one last time before they left. When I showed up for Thanksgiving at my parents' house, there were several cars as the whole extended family comes over, so I didn't even notice my brother's car. I entered the house and the first thing I see is my ex and brother talking with my aunt. I freeze as my aunt calls for my mom to come in. My brother and ex won't look me in the eye. My mom and dad come in, greet me and ask me to sit down in the living room. I sit away from my brother and ex, but I see the rest of the family, including my sister, sits closer to them. My mom starts explaining that what they did was wrong and terrible, but that she hates that the family is split. She says I need to work toward forgiveness. My ex and brother both started to apologize, but I put my hand up. I turned to my sister and asked her if she agreed. She had tears in her eyes but nodded. Asked my dad the same question, he said yes pretty firmly. I was alone. I got up and walked out. I heard a couple people yelling after me but I didn't respond. I drove to a McDonald's, ate a pretty shitty Thanksgiving meal and went through my options and decided cutting them off was my best bet. I had saved plenty. I didn't need them and they didn't know where I was moving. I blocked them all on my phone, but it was my parents' plan that I was on, so I turned the phone in the next week and got on my own plan. Doubled my cell bill, but it was worth it to get a new number. I blocked them on social media, and I told my boss that I wanted to move to Chicago early. Talked to the landlord of the apartment I was looking to rent and he was happy to let me in early. I moved to Chicago on December 15th and my family had no idea. A few friends knew and it must have slipped because last night I got an Instagram DM from what I assume is my mom on a new profile asking why I would move without telling them and that the family missed and loved me and that I needed to still make time for Christmas. I responded by saying that she only had one son now and that I was no longer family. I then blocked her new account and locked down my profile and other social media. I've been looking to change my last name as well. I've left that life behind and I'm excited to see what Chicago has to offer. The following tell. It's a big difference between forgiving and accepting a certain negative action. I would never tell him to accept the action, but I am telling him to forgive to move on. Those are two completely different things. No, in this case it's best that every time his parents see this woman, it reminds them that she drove away their son from them. This only spins around revenge and is never a good solution. You are asking a mom and a dad to choose between one of their sons. No parent will do that. He should forgive but never forget and act accordingly. As I have written 2 times now, his family is perhaps giving bad advice, but they want harmony and wonder how to get there. Op should not abandon his other family because they are desperate and making peace now. That is a very hard, not proposal action for simply, desperately trying to establish peace and harmony. As I also wrote, rise above and establish dominance over the situation. It will surprise them when you respond with positivity to something negatively. OP will be in such a good spot if he manages this. The following tell. The healing request was way too early Imho, especially in an extended family setup. I presume your parents miscalculated or felt they had no other option. But the answer to it cannot be qualified as better. The best that could happen to you is that's not gonna last. It's still fresh, we are talking at least months here. But more than that would be dramatic to you. We all know people who like to wallow in victimhood to justify behaving like shit. Especially in current environment that invites and rewards it, like here on Reddit. In the short term, it leads to a sense of power, hence a small satisfaction. It's tempting, but pay attention, none of these cheerful voices are suffering with you, today nor tomorrow. In the long run, continuing this road would lead to a net reduction in opportunities and purpose, gradually morphing into a spiral of doom. The following tell. Great story, I know this happens in real life though, sadly. I live by this, and perhaps it can help someone. I will only tolerate people telling me to forgive someone if they have personally held the person who hurt me accountable for what they did first. Until they have, they don't get a say in when or if I forgive someone. Even after that, it's still my decision, but I might be more inclined to listen. That being said, I agree that shit happens and people unexpectedly fall in love, sometimes in the most unfortunate of circumstances. However, in this story, Op walked in on them having sex, while him and his ex were still engaged, and that to me is what invalidates any of those comments. If this was real life, fiancé would have ended it with Op and then started dating brother, and it would have hurt, but it wouldn't have been as significant of a betrayal. Brother and ex could have some common decency and stay the fuck away and give Op some space and not involve family in their BS. Op doesn't owe them forgiveness, and frankly, family does not give you a free pass to do whatever you want and expect, demand forgiveness. The whole family are POSs for setting Op up too with that intervention. Op walked into an ambush, and that in my eyes makes the betrayal so much deeper from the whole family. Op gets to set the rules for if or when a reconciliation happens. The following tell. Op did the right thing. People are quick to advocate about family and forgiveness, yet no one's taking into account that his own brother betrayed him. And now his family is supporting that betrayal by approving of that relationship. I think for Op, it's not even about the skank of a woman he dodged before being stuck with her legally. It's more about his own family. His blood betrayed him, they don't get a pass to violate his trust and disrespect him just because they share DNA. People always have comments and opinions about what others should do, but throw the exact same dynamic right back at them. If they were in that situation or it happened to them, then how would they feel about it? It's easy to have a forgiveness mindset while spectating from the peanut gallery. Yet he should ask his mom if his dad had slept with her sister or engaged in an affair with her sister, how would she feel and react? Would she be advocating about family and forgiveness then? Highly doubt it. He has the right to tell everyone to STFU, leave him alone, and go low to no contact. Thanks for watching, come back again.